Guys, welcome back to the channel. Yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about the Master System with the 40th anniversary rapidly approaching. I had some plans to really go all out and do this documentary style video, but I think not only have I sort of run out of time a little bit, and I'm really been pushed for time quite a lot. I don't really have the know-how or the ability, unfortunately, um, to get videos made of that sort of quality, unfortunately. There are videos on YouTube, of course, that people talk about um, the Master System and Sega's history and all that sort of stuff. Some are better than others. That's not what my video intended to sort of be about, really. It was more talking about, I guess, the knowledge that I've learned over the last, well, lifetime, I guess, and getting sort of what's in my head um, into a video. So I thought, well, I'll do a little video today. We'll talk a little bit about, the Master System and some of what it means to me, and stuff about the Master System, that sort of stuff. And we'll see where we get to. Just got Comical Machine Gun Joe on behind me, so I thought I'd just leave it running and playing while I talk, just because I guess a lot of people might not be familiar with it, and it came out only in Japan for the Master System, but as you can see, it's all in English. There's no Japanese on it or anything. And there are a few games like that, really. It's a bit of a shame that we never got some of them over here. Probably the best game that we never got would have been Rygar. In my opinion, I think it's a great game. I still can't finish. You can get all the way to the end and be very, very close, and then it just becomes the last level or two just impossible. You can't take any damage either, so if you do, it's all over. But yeah, it's a cracking game. And that's one of the ones I wish we'd have perhaps got over here. I think it'd have probably done quite well, but I suppose the graphics and the look and the gameplay perhaps a bit rudimentary, I guess. The nearest thing that we got was Rastan, which again, another cracking game. When Conan the Barbarian and all that sort of stuff was at its peak, everybody was making those sort of games, I guess. So they did pretty well, really. So anyway, so yeah, I'm not going to get chance to put all of the videos together that I've sort of I've recorded some, and they're just a little bit all over the place. I kind of used bits and pieces from the collection, that sort of thing, and it's just not gonna be quite what I wanted it to be. And I thought, well, to do it justice, maybe it's something that I can come back to, maybe in a few years. So yeah, what can we say about the Mark III? Well, the Mark III came out on October the 20th, 1985, so it's very nearly 40 years ago. And it is the Mark III, the Sega Mark III, that we're celebrating, really. It was all of the internals of the Master System, and even in Japan, they did release a Master System over there that is much closer to what we see as the black box, so to speak. It's such an cool 80s design, the Black Master System. But the Mark III was white. I remember the first time I saw one, I thought, what the blooming X's that? In fact, so I saw one a few days ago, in fact, at the Blackpool Play Expo with my buddy Ed and Scott. And I think it was about 200 quid and wasn't boxed or anything, so they're not cheap. Yeah, 175 quid I think it was. So yeah, they're not cheap, unfortunately, but they are quite cool. and the games that came out in Japan were quite big. They wouldn't fit our Western Master Systems. They are quite chunky cartridge, quite big, quite thick. So yeah, when they had a revision of the Master System, the black one, the cartridge slot was actually quite a bit bigger, bigger than what we're used to over here with the cartridges that we're familiar with. So yeah, I think I just wanted to do things justice, I suppose, and by having a little chat about, the Master System and what it is and what it means and all that sort of stuff, that would hopefully be enough for me, because whilst I have made other videos and stuff on the channel, it's only really sort of the Master System stuff, certainly more recently, that holds my interest, really, certainly for making content and videos and whatnot. So that's what I wanted to try to do. So I remember, I think I've told the story before, but when I was about 10, I went to another lad's birthday. I think his mum and my mum knew each other, so I got invited. I didn't really know him at all, really. But for his birthday, he had got a Master System and he was playing Double Dragon around his house. And there were a load of other kids there, a couple of which I did know a little bit better from school, so they must have known him, I guess. And yeah, I just was watching in awe of them playing this Double Dragon game. And I waited patiently. I got a little go and I was like, oh my God, that was amazing, And then I sort of pecked my mum, can I have one? Can I have one? Can I have one? And we saw one at the bottom of our road, the town where I grew up, because we lived in a pub, you see. So it was quite a central part of town, really, I guess. Just on the outskirts, but fairly central. And yeah, at the bottom of the road, there was a second-hand shop. It just sold all sorts of stuff, this guy. I was always in there. I was so interested in what he had come in, and it was like a little adventure. It was like, that American Pickers program. It was a bit like that. He had stuff everywhere. He had bits of furniture, he had TVs, all sorts of stuff. Fishing tackle, because I was into my fishing quite a lot, still am. But certainly growing up, fished a lot. So yeah, I was always in there, and he had one morning in the window this Master System, which I've shown on the channel before, my Master System. But yeah, and it had a bundle of games, and I can't remember how much he was asking for it. I can't remember for the life of me. I don't think it was silly money, although back then in 1991, it of course would have been money was worth more then, or less now rather. And yeah, and then it disappeared one day, and unbeknownst to me, it was my mum that bought it. I was gutted that it'd gone, but my mum had bought it. She'd been in probably one day when we'd been at school, and then yeah, a few days later, a couple of weeks later, memory's a bit hazy, but yeah, I unwrapped this Master System. I knew that it was the one that was in Jeff's second-hand shop. And yeah, it was just amazing. I slapped Double Dragon in, and I had Vigilante as well. So I didn't complete many games as a kid. I wasn't the most patient. I remember them in my mind. I remember them being really, really difficult, the games, for me anyway. And it's only when I've come back for things like playing like Master System Challenge and stuff like that, that I've really got my head down and really concentrated, and finished quite a few of them now. But back then, it was really hard. When you've got these, do they call it is it the Mandela effect, I think, where you've got this memory of something in your head and it's very vivid, and it's just not true. So I've got a few memories that it was only when I came back to all of this years later, like recently, really, like I could have sworn I had R-Type on a Sega card, and there's just no such thing. And I still, a guy that I'm quite good friends with now, my buddy James, got talking to him on Twitter when he was still on Twitter, and just talking about all these games that I played on the Master System as a kid, and they just didn't exist. And he really helped me a few years ago now, I guess, to sort of remember, oh no, they were on the Super Nintendo. And my brother was a Nintendo kid, really. So I had my Master System for years, up until probably around 1998, when I saved up and bought a PlayStation. I got Resident Evil 2 with it, quite close to launch, I think. I mean, I got the PlayStation from a little independent games shop in our town. It was quite a rural place, and that, you know, I remember he had a shelf stuffed with these PlayStations for about 100 quid each, so I bought one of them. But my brother had like the N64. I didn't really play the N64. I mean, I played loads of GoldenEye, but that was probably about it, really. And the Super Nintendo. I remembered Nigel Mansell's Grand Prix being on the Master System in my head, and not even knowing what it was called properly. And my buddy James sort of saying, "Oh yeah, no, that was on the Super Nintendo," you know. And yeah, he helped me unlock what what I thought was real in my head, what I was so sure was a memory, and yeah, I made the whole thing up. So yeah, it's funny, isn't it? You scratch around in the depths of your memory as best you can, and you just remember it wrong, you know. So, but yeah, the games that I had were I had Psychic World. I've spoke about Psychic World quite a bit. I only finished it this year for the first time. Phenomenal game. I finished it once with I think it was a continue I used, or a save state. It might have been a save state, and then I thought, oh, I'm not happy with that. So like the very next night, I just then blitzed it and played through, and I knew what I was doing then. Such a phenomenal game, but only finished it this year. So that was impossible. I think I got to the Ice World 3 once as a kid, you know, and I thought, oh, you know, that's enough for me. But yeah, I kind of played that a lot. I played Outrun and never finished that. I just found it too hard, and I finished Outrun 3 or 4 years ago when we did it as part of the Master System Challenge. And Sonic the Hedgehog. So I remember my buddy that I went to school with, a lad called Stuart. I've not spoke to anyone I went to school with since leaving school. It was a bit of a shame, really, but I just don't, you know, not kept in touch with anybody. I moved up north a lot of years ago, and yeah, just don't really go back to there. Anyway, he had Sonic on the Mega Drive, and I was like just blown away by how amazing it looked. So I asked my mum, oh, can I get Sonic on the Master System? And I'm sure I'm right in saying it hadn't come out. It came out on the Mega Drive first, so I had to wait a little while, and she ordered it, I think, from Woolworths, and then it arrived, and that was like the first game I had pre-ordered for me from my mum. I think I vaguely, maybe did I get it for that Christmas, or did you just get it for, I can't remember, but I played it, and again, another one I loved. I didn't love it at first, actually. I remember putting it in and thinking, well, this doesn't look like the game that I watched around Stuart's house, you know. It didn't look like the Mega Drive at all. And I remember the first day or so being a bit disappointed. But, you know, when you're kids, you know, it's just, I guess your expectations are just all over. But yeah, I remember playing it and loving it. Within a couple of days, I did really enjoy it, and I played it tons. And again, never finished Sonic, even though looking back, it was actually quite easy. I got to the very last stage, 6, where you've got the electricity and you've got a time when you can jump from platform to platform. Otherwise, you get electrocuted, don't you? And yeah, I wasn't very good at the timing, I remember. So I got to like the zone 6 or whatever. Wasn't very good at the timing. I think in my memory, I only got there once or twice, maybe. And I remember the first time I did it, we lived above a pub, and my mum was downstairs. And I said, "Oh, we got to come and watch this. I've got to the end." And she came up, bless her. She came upstairs. She go on then, show me. And I lasted about 30 seconds and died. And that was, I just got caught out. And she goes, "Oh, you just need to practice. You need to time it." And yeah, I never did finish until many years later. One of the guys on Twitter, Jamie, sort of spurred me on, and a few of the other guys as well that were doing the challenge that week, and said, "Oh, it's easy, just stick with it." And yeah, I completed it like 3-4 times that week then, just to try and improve my score and stuff, so yeah, it was great, really, really great. So yeah, that's kind of my memories really. I do have other memories. I remember like doing daft stuff, like I swapped my Master, or lent it rather, for a Garfield book, when I for a weekend or a week, might have been a week, with my mate Sam. Yeah, he had a Mega Drive, but he wanted to play it. He can't have had the Master System converter, I guess. So I just lent him it, and he lent me a Garfield book. I remember going into you do crazy things when you're a kid, don't you? And I remember going into like a DIY shop, because it was on the way into town. And sometimes, I don't know why, I used to just pop in, look at the tools, the knives, stuff like that. Normal stuff. And I remember I left like my copy of Outrun, and maybe, might have been Vigilante, just left it on the desk, the front desk to check out, and then went off into town, completely forgot. And then it must have been about a month later, I'd been looking for I was like, where the bloody hell are they, And then off into town again, and the shopkeeper, this guy, very kindly said, "Oh, last time you popped in, you left some games behind." And I was so excited. I was like, "Oh my goodness, thank you so much," and he gave me my games back. Just daft stuff. I know it's really silly, now I think about it. I mean, we used to sneak out as well, and I used to leave games running like this in demo mode, and close my door, thinking, well, if my mum walks past and she hears the Master System on, she'll just think that I'm in there playing it. Just, yeah, crazy stuff. Anyway, so there's some of my memories. It would be fantastic if people wanted to do a VR with some of their memories. I love stories. I say to people when they talk about, back in the day, when they were kids playing the Master System or whatever, most of all with Retro Red Steve. I just really like his storytelling. It's so relatable to me about, playing Wonder Boy in the chip shop or what, I just love it. So yeah, I mean, if you've got any Master System stories, then please do feel free to do a VR. I'm not going to get chance to put all of the video together that I've been preparing. The documentary style thing, it's just not, I don't have the knowledge to get it just right and to get it look how I want. So I may come back to it. but not for the 40th anniversary, unfortunately. I've got some other videos planned over the next 2 or 3 weeks while we're still in October, celebrating everything. So I'll come up with those. And I think everybody knows now that Bad Computer has announced that he's got a new game coming out, and I've been playtesting that over the last few days, and you're really in for a treat. It's really a lot of fun, very addictive. So we'll do something around that as well, I think. Maybe a Master System challenge. I think, that'd be quite cool. But yeah, I mean, I do have some other bits and pieces, some videos that I want to put out celebrating this amazing console. So yeah, I hope you stick around. I hope you watch them and enjoy them. And if you make any videos, tag me in. I will watch them. And that's it from me, guys, for today. So thank you very much for listening to me waffle. I really appreciate it. Yeah, hopefully it's just got you thinking back to, your childhood, when you had your Master System. And yeah, like I say, if you want to do a little video, that'd be amazing. And if you want to share stuff, that'd be great. Yeah, thanks ever so much. Take it easy. Have a great weekend. Cheers, guys.